morning, ladies and gentlemen, judges and fellow debaters. I would like to introduce myself. I am Sneha and I'll be the first speaker from the proposition team. Today we gather here to discuss one of the most pressing issues of our time, which is cybersecurity. And our topic today would be cybersecurity and data privacy. International businesses protect and unprotect sensitive data and ensure cybersecurity in an increasingly digital and interconnected world. In this increasingly interconnected digital age, where information and technology shape the fabric of our lives, the importance of safeguarding our digital assets and data cannot be overstated. Based on the New Straits Times on March 17, 2023, our Digital Deputy Minister Teo Ni Ching has mentioned the statistics of the cyber crimes reported in Malaysia, which it has been reported 4,741 cases for 2022 itself, and 456 fraud cases were recorded as for February 2023. She also said that cyber attacks can have very damaging consequences for individuals, businesses, and governments alike, ranging from financial losses to personal information breaches and even disruption of essential services. Cybersecurity, protecting our information systems from cyber threats, has emerged as a critical concern for individuals, businesses, governments, and societies worldwide. As we engage in this debate, let us explore cybersecurity's significance and its profound impact on our modern-day way of life. So, I would like to state the first importance of cybersecurity: protection of personal information. In an era where personal data is the new currency, cybersecurity plays a vital role in safeguarding our sensitive information from falling into the wrong hands. Identity theft, financial fraud, and data breaches are rampant in the digital landscape, making cybersecurity measures essential for protecting individuals' privacy and preventing potential harm. For example, data breaches. Organizations and businesses store huge amounts of customer data, including names, addresses, credit card details, and more. A data breach can expose this information to unauthorized parties, leading to severe consequences for both individuals and organizations. Certain cybersecurity practices can mitigate the risk of data breaches and protect sensitive data from unauthorized access. Besides that, privacy and consent. Cybersecurity also plays a very vital role in upholding the privacy rights of individuals. There are firms and organizations that run transparent data collection practices, adherence to privacy regulations, and implementation of secure data handling procedures to ensure that individuals' personal information is treated with respect and consent is obtained for its use. So therefore, me and my fellow debaters, we strongly believe and would stand in our decision that cybersecurity is very important in our daily lives, especially for the upcoming generation. That's it from me. Thank you.
Okay, so I will be the first person to speak for the opposition team.
Thank you, Sneha, for your input. So I would like to introduce myself first. I'm Savita Muniandi from the opposition team. So a very good morning to our fellow debaters and also our judge today. I would like to rebut back on Sneha's point that she stated first. The first statement that she made is that in an increasingly digital and interconnected world, cybersecurity plays a critical role in protecting sensitive data and ensuring the safety of international businesses. Yes, that is true. However, while cybersecurity is essential for safeguarding information and mitigating cyber threats, it can also present certain disadvantages and challenges for the organization, which will be presented later by my fellow debater. So I would like to rebut back on Sneha's point, which is there is too much overemphasis on cybersecurity that you said earlier, which is data privacy, which also actually neglects other privacy risks. So my argument is that while cybersecurity is undoubtedly important in protecting personal data from external threats, an exclusive focus on cybersecurity actually may overshadow other privacy risks that individuals or organizations may face. Putting too much emphasis on cybersecurity measures can actually divert from addressing other significant aspects of data privacy, which can also lead to data misuse. So my reasoning is that while cybersecurity actually primarily deals with external threats such as data breaches and hacking attempts, it may not adequately address internal privacy issues, within organizations or institutions that I have said earlier. For example, employees which has access to company data, private data, they can actually misuse it and bring that data to the outside world. That is the example that I would like to state back. Additionally, third-party data sharing and data mining practices that also happen with consent or without consent but without full awareness of the implication may also raise privacy concerns. So earlier you had said evidence which was on March 17, 2023 on the News Straits Time that our Minister Teo had organised a awareness campaign for the cyber attacks that Malaysia had recently. My question is, why take action when it already happened? It's too late for you to take a preventative measure when it already happened. So you should actually already have a safety measure without waiting for anything bad to happen, any data breaches or data privacy that you had mentioned earlier to happen. So some of the other evidence that I believe happens in Malaysia and also all around the world is there will be insider threats, consent complexity, data profiling and targeting, data collection by surveillance, data retention policies. So these are some of the example evidence that has been happening in cybersecurity threats, which means that when you come with cybersecurity, the threats is always there. How will you prevent it? So while robust cybersecurity measures are actually very crucial for protecting personal data from external threats, it is also very essential to recognize that the data privacy encompasses various aspects beyond cybersecurity alone. Addressing internal threats, obtaining meaningful consent, examining data usage practices, and implementing responsible data retention policies are also very equally important in safeguarding individuals and also company or organizational privacy rights. A comprehensive approach to data protection should also consider these broader privacy risks, not only towards the individual, in addition to the traditional cybersecurity measures that you had mentioned earlier. So that is all from me. I'll pass it to the proposition team.
Thank you so much, Savita, for your point of view about this cybersecurity topic. However, I would like to answer one of the questions you asked earlier. Yes, it is a good question that why our minister or our country actually made a campaign or an action after all of these activities has happened. However, I would like to say that cybersecurity threats aren't a one-time thing. So as our current generation are being introduced to technologies such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity threats can grow bigger and cause major losses to individuals, organizations, or even governments. So it is wrong that it is a bit wrong that our country took a bit of a delayed action to come up with campaigns, but these such campaigns will protect the future generation, the future organizations, and also governments. That's all from me. I would like to pass to my teammate. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Savita and Sneha. A very good morning to ladies and gentlemen and the judge and the fellow debaters. So I'm Pavitra Sri and I would like to talk about my points. And to start off with my points, I would actually like to emphasize on the point given by my fellow teammate and also answering the question thrown by Savita. Yes, it is true. I agree with the question why you take action after this thing happened. I would like to answer that question by saying every single thing happens for a reason, and exactly we have to find a solution for that. And talking about cybersecurity, I would like to give an example in the same field. In this growing time, we have many issues coming up, be it cybersecurity, in medical fields, in science stuffs. So one good example I would like to give is that there are new diseases coming up. There are new devices created. And also recently there's this research from NASA. They have found like new planets and stuff. And also supporting that, I also have a factor saying that scientists also found that there are new organelles. And why I'm giving this example is that we tend to find new stuffs, and only by mistake we realize how to cure and find a solution for that mistake. So when you ask me the same question, why you take action only after there's a negative effect? When there is a problem occurring through cybersecurity, when there is a cybercrime, that's when people tend to find out why it is happening, and that's when people tend to find out solution for it. And that's where we emphasize more on protecting our cybersecurity, and that's where I would like to rebut and make my teammates' point stronger by saying that's why we are taking more actions, and our minister is taking more actions to make our cybersecurity system more stronger. So continuing with that, I would like to follow with my point, which is my first benefit, which is the competitive benefit. So one of the most common contributing factors to the positive side of cybersecurity is competitive benefit. So why I talk about competitive benefit is that that's where companies come in, which is MNC and international companies. So companies basically with robust cybersecurity measures in place are less vulnerable to cyber attacks and can actually gain a competitive edge over competitors who may not prioritize security. So basically, since intellectual property is the basis of competitive advantage of a lot of companies, for example, the high-tech companies, the international companies, and especially pharmacies, medical companies. So this is where the leakage of such information could ruin a company. So when cybersecurity becomes part of strategic decision making, it can actually emphasize and it can actually prevent costly business decision and protect intellectual property and trade secrets. And that's where cybersecurity comes in, and they actually play a vital role in emphasizing and protecting our system, which makes our system to be more stronger and prevent cybersecurity to be more stronger. And talking about that, I would like to continue by saying that markets are extremely competitive, and companies find it very hard to offer features that their competitors do not have. When cybersecurity becomes part of product development, it actually stimulates companies to invest more in R&D because companies are assured their innovations will be better protected against leakage to competitors. So that's where we can say, like, even more importantly, cybersecurity enables companies to actually create security features that appeal to customers, and such differentiation enables them to obtain a long-term source of revenue. So with that, I would like to give a strong example, and one of the good example everybody can relate is the Apple company, which is where Apple actually invests a lot in data security. For example, their biometrics. And when we talk about the privacy of Apple, one good example is that they have this limiting access to personal data feature. So because these features are in great demand from a large group of customers, these features together with others, for example, ease of use and design features, this actually enables Apple to gain a seizable market share with high price product like the iPhone and iPad. So moving on to my next point, another justifiable advantage of cybersecurity that can be laid here is the early detection and response. So talking about early detection and response, proactive cybersecurity measures can help organizations detect threats early and respond effectively. So by minimizing potential damage and disruption. Early detection and response, which can be said as EDR, is a crucial aspect of cybersecurity that actually focuses on identifying and mitigating threats as quickly as possible to minimize damage and protect sensitive information. So basically, EDR aims to detect threats in the early stage, which is early detection, and respond promptly to prevent further compromise of system, networks, and data. So for example, that's where real-time monitoring comes in. So that is basically a technical system. So EDR actually solution continuously monitor endpoints, networks, and system to detect any suspicious activities beforehand or potential security breaches. So this involves collecting and analyzing vast amounts of data from various sources to identify anomalous behavior. So I would like to conclude with my last point by saying that a strong cyber security posture helps organizations avoid reputational damage caused by data breaches and other cyber incidents, which can actually lead to loss of customer trust and decrease business opportunities. So with this, I would like to quote the chairman of Forbes, who is Steve Forbes, who said like your brand is the single most important investment you can make in your business. Why I would like to quote this is because when you have a good cybersecurity system, that's where people gain the trust to actually invest in you and believe in your system and the security system. So that's when your reputation and the brand image of your company goes up, and that's where you can actually compete in Forbes. And Aptly's he who is the chairman of Forbes, he actually summarized how business should take at their brand. So reputation protection in cybersecurity is not just about preventing incident. It's also about demonstrating a commitment to security and handling incident transparently and responsibly when they do occur. So by adopting proactive security measures and maintaining open communication with stakeholders, organizers can actually better protect their reputation in the face of cybersecurity example. And I would like to conclude and make my stand stronger by giving this one example of robust cybersecurity measures, where it's actually about implementing strong cybersecurity measures to prevent data breaches and cyber incidents in the first place. This actually includes using firewalls, encryption, multi-factor authentication, MFA, and keeping software and system up to date with security patches. And that will be my third point. So therefore, I strongly believe and I will whereby stand with my decision that cybersecurity actually has a positive side, and our country is actually acting up to stand up to cybersecurity, and by making all these actions, they are actually improvising our cybersecurity system. So that's all from me. Thank you, and I'll pass it to my next speaker.
So warm greetings to our judge and also to the fellow debaters. I am Shakila Saravanan and I'm from the opposition team, and I would like to rebut Pavitra's point where she said Apple has the one of the good cybersecurity system, okay, compared to other telecommunications. So here, according to the Guardian News website of the year, it is stated that Apple's security system has flaws actively exploited by the hackers to fully control over the devices. And also, according to the Washington Post news, it is stated that Russia says that thousands of iPhones and Apple devices were hacked, and also they blame US and Apple for having such problem in their security system, cybersecurity system, where they have some problems where hackers could actually hack Apple, even though they have like very good cybersecurity system, a complex cybersecurity system. Okay, we know that Apple do have good cybersecurity system. It is secured, but due to some reasons, like in their devices from 2015 onwards, maybe the current ones like the 14 Pro Max and also MacBook Pros and Macs, all that, the recent ones, they might have a good cybersecurity system, but hence they are always like upgrading their security system. But like the devices from 2015 onwards, they have this problem with their cybersecurity system, which is legit. Actually, it became a huge controversial news. As I said, from the Washington Post, Russia actually blames US for not having a very good cybersecurity systems. So as we know, there are still some people using devices back then on the 2015 onwards. For example, iPhone 6s, 6, and also even the iPads and all sort of stuff. Not everybody having the top-notch, the newest devices from the Apple. So hence, there are still people using all those devices, which is it is still unsecured for the Apple to actually continue with their cybersecurity, like a very secured cybersecurity system. So that's my point about regarding from my proposition team. So that's all from me. I'll pass it to my next debater.
Thank you so much to the opposing team, and I would like to emphasize my points more stronger, and I would like to rebut back and talk about the Apple. Since the opposing team has spoke about the Apple's issue, she has actually mentioned that Apple's iOS system. She didn't mention about iOS system, but the Apple security system wasn't that safe before 2015. But after 2015, the newly upcoming new iOS stuffs is actually upgrading, and they have a better firewalls and stuffs. So that's when I would like to emphasize my point, saying that we are actually making the cybersecurity system stronger, and that's why we are having better products and better Apple products. And when we talk about Russian minister opposing the Apple products, yeah, they actually oppose, but you can go over and see in news and stuff, the Russian minister is actually holding an iPhone product, and also the opposing team is also having an iPad in their hand. So I would like to conclude it saying that we're still upgrading on our cybersecurity, and it is actually a strong point. So I would like to pass it to the next speaker.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, judges and debaters, thank you for the input from the proposition team. So I, Nuriza, will be the second speaker from the opposition team. So I want to debate on the rebut on the point of there is competitive benefits. However, to ensure the competitive benefits, it takes developing and deploying cybersecurity by measures that demand significant financial resources, specialized expertise, and ongoing maintenance. So based on article journal written by Alexis Garcia Perez, they quoted that effective cybersecurity in critical infrastructure organization can vary greatly based on their size, area of operations, technological dependence, and business model assets, context, and interdependence to other high-risk stakeholders. So this heavy statement, it shows that heavy investment might disproportionately affect smaller players, such as startups, who might struggle to allocate sufficient funds for robust security. So for example, the healthcare industry, they respond by spending a total of $125 billion cumulatively from 2020 to 2025 to strengthen their cyber defenses. That does not even include the solution cost of overcoming cyber crimes. So to the next point I want to rebut is that the complexity of the systems can also operation disruptions and complicate the user experiences. So we can say that the potential disadvantage of implementing sophisticated cybersecurity measures should be taken into account, and particularly for organizations with limited resources. And based on the journal article written by Sulafa Badi, they are titled Cybersecurity Effectiveness in UK Constructions. They emphasize on how it could potentially hinder productivity and causing frustration that will affect the reputation of cybersecurity firms. So the next point that I want to rebut is that you're saying that the cybersecurity also measures has inevitably given rise to a new base of cyber criminals who specialize, which finding vulnerabilities within existing security frameworks. So based on article journal written by Sulafa Badi, they emphasize on how construction businesses are also a prime target for spear phishing, a scam in which attackers send a targeted email pretending to represent reliable organizations to deceive the reception into depositing money into a fake account. This shows that these criminals exploit weaknesses such as human error or gaps in system configurations to gain unauthorized access in cybersecurity. So the constant need for up-to-date security creates a perpetual cycle wherein the developers strive to stay ahead of cyber threats, while hackers conditionally seek ways to circumvent the latest defenses. So this complexity and cost associates with maintaining robust security measures and availability, placing organization and their valuable data at risk. So lastly, I want to emphasize on how the cybersecurity also invite the concerns about the privacy and on the international businesses. For example, Facebook, the company by Mark Zuckerberg, it says that the revelation that a data analytics company used by Donald Trump's presidential campaign was able to surreptitiously collect data on 50 million users. People through a seemingly innocuous quiz app has forced CEO Mark Zuckerberg to issue a public apology and promise changes. So this shows that how cybersecurity aims to protect. It also gives the analysis of vast amounts of personal data throughout that can potentially compromise privacy of the users. Hence, that is all from our opposition team.
Thank you, Mirza, from the opposition side. My name is Raja Sara Sofia, and now, as the last speaker on the proposition side, I will now sum up our argument. So, we agree that cybersecurity and data privacy, international businesses can protect sensitive data and ensure cybersecurity in an increasingly digital and interconnected world. My team and I has talked and has stood strongly in our opinion that international businesses can protect their data and ensure cybersecurity in this world. My teammates beside me have shared the importance as well as advantages about cybersecurity. I will now roughly emphasize them again. So starting with the importance, protection of personal information. We do not want to fall victim to dirty acts such as identity theft and all that. So, which is why cybersecurity is so important, especially big organizations and international businesses. We must have these measures to protect all sensitive data, including their employees and their customers. Next, privacy and consent. Cybersecurity upholds our privacy rights. With cybersecurity, we can keep what we want private, and what we want to share, we can share. They will not be exposed, and we won't give out our personal data without our own permission. So moving on to the advantages discussed just now. Firstly, about competitive benefit. Companies with strong cybersecurity measures are less vulnerable to cyber attacks, which makes sense because when you have strong cybersecurity actions taken, you are less likely to fall victim to any cyber attacks or any hackers. And part of the competitive benefit is that customers will choose your company, because when your company has strong cybersecurity, they will trust it more and think, oh, their security is strong, my information won't be leaked. So they choose that company. The next advantage is early detection and response. Why cybersecurity is very important is because when you adopt cybersecurity in your company, if there are chances you will be hacked or something happens, you will detect it early before it gets worse, and you can also minimize the effects or consequences it has on your company. Next, cybersecurity also shows the reputation of your company. When you have these strong cybersecurity power and also measures, it can increase your reputation, and customers will also look at you and trust your company more, and basically it will increase the reputation of your company. So now I will start to close my part. International businesses, especially international businesses, they must ensure their sensitive data is well protected. Especially in this interconnected world, cybersecurity is very useful and very much needed to have in our lives. They can help with prevention and when we are in our vulnerable times, when we have been attacked. With that, I would like to end by saying that cybersecurity does protect sensitive data and is very important in this day and age to have by our side. That is all I'd like to say. I'll pass it to the opposition side. Thank you.
So, greetings to the judge and also to the fellow debaters again. I'm Shakila Saravanan, and I would like to stand strong on our side, which is cybersecurity and data privacy in international business is unprotected, and also in their sensitive data, and ensure cybersecurity in an increasingly digital and interconnected world. So before coming into a conclusion, I would like to just summarize what my fellow debaters from the opposition team has mentioned previously. So the first one is overemphasis on cybersecurity, neglects on privacy risks. So this basically where third-party data sharing where actually raise privacy concerns, where when third-party browsers they actually track cookies within that, where it eventually increases the privacy concerns. And also the second point, as Mirza mentioned just now, implementing complex and sophisticated security system. So where this demands significant financial resources, specialized expertise, and also ongoing maintenance, where this causes to spend more money to implement on a sophisticated cybersecurity systems due to the high technology used, where most of the business in this case simply couldn't actually afford a data breach, because it is actually significantly affects the financial resources of a certain company when it comes to in international business. So the third point, as Mirza mentioned just now, growing prevalence of cybersecurity measures has inadvertently given rise to a new breed of cyber criminals. So in this case, there are some hackers and also cyber criminals. They pretend to represent a certain organization to scam money. Basically, as even Mirza gave example in her journal article, which is written by Sulafa Badi, it is stated that certain organization, they receive emails to be deposited the money into a fake account, and they actually scam the money through that, which is actually happening in international business. And also coming up to the last point, as Mirza mentioned before, ubiquitous nature of cybersecurity measures invites concern about privacy and encroachment on individual freedom. When we talk about individual freedom, and also it also relates in international business, where monitoring individuals in online activities, where we are actually monitored, like whatever we do in online, we are actually getting monitored from hackers, cyber criminals, and all sort of stuff when we share data to third party and all sort of stuff. So that's about summing up my my fellow debaters and opposition teams' points. And also, to conclude this argument, we can clearly see that from all the related articles, news, and discussed in this debate session by our opposition team, it is known that cybersecurity attacks in international business were on the rise. So as the world become more interconnected and reliant on digital technologies, so businesses faced an ever-growing threat of cyber attacks, like in this Jan, which is in international business. So, to wrap up this argument, we from the opposition team strongly agree with the statement that cybersecurity in international businesses unprotects sensitive data. So, that's all from me and my opposition team. So, thank you.
So that is all from all of us. Thank you to our friend here who became our judge. So that's all from us. Thank you, madam.